Hey YouTubers, welcome back. This is a quick video to explain and explore a problem that plagues a lot of people with a Ruger Mark III. And I wouldn't say it's a big problem as much as just a minor annoyance. And that issue is that a lot of times it's very difficult to insert a magazine. And the reason is, as you put it in, and we'll see here, and you go to shove it up, it just stops. There's a lot of resistance right there. And then other times, you push it in and it goes right in with minimal to no resistance. And you can see it's not difficult to figure out how to get it to go in reliably, but nevertheless it's an issue. And let's take a look at part of why that problem exists. I'll turn this up so you get an overhead view, and you can see there's a lot of play in the magazine. And what myself and a lot of other people have noticed is that when you're putting this magazine in at one angle, which is toward the left side of the gun, it's going to hang. But if the magazine is pulled down towards the right side of the gun, it goes in no problem. So real quick, I'm just going to tear this down and kind of give you an idea of why this happens, and possibly offer up some remedies as to how you might be able to fix this. Okay, we've got our Mark III field stripped down to nothing, took the grips off, so you've kind of got a good view of what goes on in here. And let's take another look at this. So putting the magazine in, you can see pushing that it's kind of bottoming out right there next to that mag release button. And again, if I push down on it, and I'm going to hold the bottom of it so it doesn't lock up in there, but if I'm pushing downward on this magazine, you see that it does cleanly pass that mag release and goes where it needs to go. So let's take a look up here, and what I want you to watch is just watch this top edge of the magazine as it comes up in here, and you'll get a real good idea of what's happening. I'll zoom in here. Okay, so here it comes. And I apologize for the lighting. It's the best I can get there. But you can see that lip is contacting the mag release, and I'll push on that mag release and you can see it move. So if I push that mag release out of the way, that magazine goes up without a hitch. If I let the mag release back out, if I'm again pulling to where the top of the magazine is on the right, it's going to hit. If I'm pushing to where the magazine is on the left, it clears that mag release and goes right up into the mag well where it's supposed to be. So that's really what's causing the issue, is that mag release. And I mean, it seems to be more of a design issue and something that maybe Ruger can fix. Now the different possibilities for remedying that, you could take it to a gunsmith and see what they might have to say about it. I'm sure there are plenty of gunsmiths out there that have seen this issue and that have dealt with it. B, you can just deal with it, and I know a lot of people do that. They wiggle it around and figure out, okay, as long as the magazine's over here when I'm pushing up in, it feeds great. As long as I'm pulling it this way, it's going to jam. So you can just deal with it. I'm actually going to change the geometry. I'm going to take a Dremel and I'm going to pull this mag release out, and I'm going to kind of radically change the geometry of that mag release to try to get it to help the magazine feed in properly. Normally I'm not a huge fan of kitchen table gunsmithery, but thinking about this, the worst I can do to the pistol is end up damaging the mag release, and then I'll just buy another mag release. So it's nothing that's going to be catastrophic to the pistol. I'm not changing the frame. I've heard other people suggest bending the lips in on the magazine. I don't like that. I don't like changing the way the ammo would feed out of this magazine. I'm not comfortable with that. So really, for me to take a shot at fixing this with a Dremel, it's not going to be a total loss if I damage that part. I just order a new mag release and throw it back in and deal with it, and go to plan B. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pop that out and let you take a look at it, and we'll see kind of how we're going to proceed. Okay, we've pulled the mag release button out of the Ruger, and I've got my magazine here, and I'm going to kind of show you again what's happening. So as that magazine comes up, that lip right here is running right into the edge of the mag release button, just like that. So before we start grinding on this thing willy-nilly, it's important to understand how it works, so that I don't cause myself any griefs and mess this up to the point where it won't work. So as that magazine comes up in and passes through, just like this, assuming I get it past that little slot, you see a little bump right here on the side of the magazine, and that's normally once it gets up into the mag well high enough, it clicks into place right there. And so what's happening is this button's holding that magazine in until I push that button in, and it releases that bump and lets the mag fall back out. So just looking at that, I know that this surface right here is very important. I need to retain this. I'm not going to do anything to that. What I am going to do, because I'm contacting the surface right here, and you'll see it's kind of polished up. The first thing I did was I thought, okay, maybe if I polish it out, it'll slide up in there, but it's just such straight on contact that even polishing it didn't really help. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this top surface intact, but instead of this coming straight down like it does, I'm going to grind away an angle right here. So I'm going to be pretty much radically changing the geometry of the bottom part of this. This is the button, or this is the part of the mag release that fits into the frame that keeps it level and helps kind of guide it in the right direction. So I'm just going to be cutting an angle like this, so that hopefully when this comes up here, it'll be guided into the right direction, so that I'll be able to reliably put my magazines in without having an issue. And so I'll go do some grinding and come right back. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this little plunger and spring out, because I don't want to lose that. It's never fun to have to reorder a little $2 or $3 part and sit there and wait for a week. So we'll come right back in a few and take a look at what I did and see if it works. Okay, so I've finished my work on the magazine release button, and you can kind of see the area that I've grinded out. Kind of grinded this at an angle, but I left this shelf intact, because that shelf's really what's holding that magazine in, like I said. So that's the part you don't want to mess with. In any case, let's throw it in the gun and see what kind of results we get. I just installed the recently modified mag release, and let's check it out. Okay, it goes in smooth. Now, playing with that play, we remember it always went in, pushed this way towards the right of the pistol, no problem. The issue was when it was pushed left, like this, it hung up. Let's see, doesn't hang up anymore. So I should be able to just pick up a mag, slam it in real quick now. Okay, let's put it back together, make sure everything works when it's reassembled, and we'll call it a day. Alright, our Ruger Mark III target model is reassembled, and slamming this in 10 or 15 times, it appears the mod was a success. So bear in mind, I am not a gunsmith, obviously, so if you want to take a shot at modifying your Ruger, do it at your own peril or discretion. If done right, it works. If done wrong, you're going to be ordering another mag release button. So that's the worst I can see happening. Hope y'all found that useful, and have a good one.